In this video, I wanted to address a question that I've been asked numerous times, and I'm being asked by this young lady as well. So I'll set the groundworks here. Her name is Melody. She's from Cambridge, Massachusetts, and she starts out thanking me because I encouraged her to get into running. She stated that she ran her first marathon. Congratulations to you, Melody. And she's joined a running group whose tradition is to get a tattoo for every race that they run. And she doesn't have any, and she wants to know what I think about getting a tattoo. So we're going to stop there for a moment before I address that question, if you don't mind. And hopefully, Melody, you're watching. It's not what I think. And that's a problem today, as I see it, with many, many people in our society. They don't think for themselves. We unfortunately are being instructed and told to think this and think that based upon social media, the internet, the opinions of people, and whatnot. We're just relinquishing this right that we have to process and to think and make our own decisions rather than having others decide for us. So I just wanted to say that to you, Melody. You're not alone, but I just want to help you with this, and I hope you'll forgive me for taking this opportunity to do so, and that I don't mean anything against you, but it's not what I think, Melody. I want you to think for yourself and make a decision. You see, in my office, when the patients come in, I try to tell them, I encourage them, it's your body, it's your health, it's your decision. I, as the doctor, am obligated to give to you the information, what I think would be is the best action, the second best or third, whatever it might be, to give them the information. And based upon that information, that individual that's come to us makes a decision as to whether or not they want to do it or they don't want to do it, but never coerced into doing it. So getting back to your original question, what do I think about you getting a tattoo, and should you do it? Well, here we go. I want you to think. All right, so I'm gonna give you some information regarding tattoos, and not in any particular order, and it's not exhaustive. This is not the end all to your question. I mean, I'm encouraging you to, maybe this is planting a seed in your heart, and then you can go and do some further investigation before you make a quality decision, okay? But I will tell you what I do know. Number one, and depending upon who you read, and I want to stop there and say this too, be careful about what you read, who you read, and where you read it from. Know the author, number one. See if it's a sponsored article, if it's a funded article. See if the individual is a credible source, and if it's empirical data and not just an opinion based upon whatever. And then make sure that when you get that fact, that you check out others and see if they're confirming that, because every fact is to be confirmed by two or more witnesses, okay? All right. Because what I'm about to say is going to be challenged by other people, I'm sure, because that's where we live today. And so anyway, it affects your immune system. Some will say, well, yes, it does, Doc. It makes your immune system much stronger, because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, or whatever that saying is. However, this one will weaken your immune system. You're breaking in through the skin. That's a barrier there. That's a protective mechanism that the body has. You're breaking through it, and you're adding to it something that's alien, something that's non-organic. It's chemical. These are synthetic. These are chemicals, and after being put into the body, they're going to leach. They're going to be absorbed in through the other layers of skin, of which we have three. They're going to be absorbed, and they're finally getting them into the blood. And then they're going to be coursing throughout the entire body. Okay? So they're going to break down the immune system. Now, understand this too, Melody. For every action, there's always an equal and opposite reaction. The reaction starts immediately, however, the results of which may not be known immediately, but rather over time. And this is one of those situations where over time it's going to start to present itself, the results of the action that you took. So yes, it does affect the immune system. And gosh, I've seen people that have come in, they look like walking billboards. So many tattoos on them from the top of their heads to the soles of their feet and every square inch in between. It affects not only the immune system, it affects the skin itself, in that it blocks the rays of the sun from getting through and creating the melanin, the melatonin, the vitamin D, the nitric oxide. It just goes on and on and on. It just creates those barriers. So it makes that individual not only weaker immune-wise, but also a lot of the processes that the body would naturally engage in performing have been negated and or they've been lessened to a tremendous extent. And not only does it do that, but the skin loses its elasticity. So it begins to wrinkle, it begins to denigrate, it breaks down over time. So we only know we don't know yet what a person who gets tattoos in their 20s is going to look like when he or she is in their 60s, should they live that long. God, I hope so. But anyway, it's definitely going to erode the skin. Also, and the more you have, the worse it gets. See, so you start off with one tattoo and then, you're encouraged to get another and another and another. It's adding insult to injury, making that problem that began become worse and worse and worse and worse. Okay, all right, we got that too. Also, the vitamin D, in this, the inks are synthetic chemical compounds. In the research that was done on the black ink in particular, the worst of the groups of colors that are used are black and red primarily, but the black ink that was tested, 83% of the black ink, or those people that were tested, had what's called polycystic aromatic hydrocarbons. So that means they have known carcinogens. The black ink is a known carcinogen. That means the black ink is a promoter of cancer. Got it? A promoter of cancer. This is not anecdotal. This is empirical information to you. It's polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. All right? That's the first thing. Another thing is that the black and the red also have other aluminums. They have, oh gosh, I can't even remember all of the different chemical or metals that they have in them as well. But getting back to the black and the red in particular, it has mercury in it. And this mercury, the common name of this particular mercury is vermilion. It's also known as cinnabar. It's vermilion and it's cinnabar. And the chemical name would be mercury sulfide. The mercury sulfide, what it does, as I alluded to earlier, these chemicals now from the ink get into the blood, they're carried through the body. It affects every organ, every system, every cell of the body. There's a tenet that tells us that if you affect one member of the body, it doesn't matter how large the member is, maybe an organ or a system or a cell, one member, if you affect one member of the body, you affect the whole. That means if you adversely affect one member of the body, every member that makes up that body is affected adversely. And so it is with the tattoos. Getting back to the mercury now, the mercury sulfide travels through and it breaks down what's called the blood-brain barrier. There's a barrier over the brain that protects it from all of these environmental toxins, whatever they may be, all these egregious chemicals and whatnot. Well, the mercury sulfide breaks down that barrier and it compromises it, creating holes, if you want to think of it that way, which allow other heavy metals to get into the brain, other toxins, other chemicals, all these other things. And again, as I said, it doesn't happen instantly, but over time. So now we have a lot of people, and just clinically, I can tell you that I've had individuals who've come in who have had problems. They weren't thinking clearly. They started their memory loss, their ability to communicate or whatever. And when we do a history on them, they say, you know, it kind of started, yeah, doc, it started after I got the tattoos. Now, look, I'm not saying that the tattoo is the culprit for every and all. Don't even bother with that one. We're not doing that. However, I am saying that does it contribute to? Yes, absolutely, positively, absolutely, positively. So it does that. Um, it again, the black ink, the red ink. Okay, so that's just a little foundational information for you, Melody, and whoever else is interested in learning about tattoos. Uh, that's all I can tell you right now. So again, it's not what I think. Now it's what you think, what you decide to do with the information that you've been given. Because remember, it's your body, it's your health. You're the one who has the responsibility to make the decisions that will govern, you know, the future of that body and the quality of the life it lives. Okay? Hey, Melody, I want to thank you for sending me that letter. That's really sweet of you to thank me for getting you into running, and congratulations on your first marathon. May it be the first of many. And I'm glad you're out there pounding the pavement as it is, you know, enjoying it. And it's great to be a part of an organization, a running club, and that's wonderful. Thanks so much for getting in touch with us, and thanks for the question. And look, until the next video, and as always, I want to say to all of you, thank you and God bless.